Today's Ask Me Anything goes out to Timmy, I don't know, Tim something. What would you suggest to help eliminate a dog that moves to defend against attack or perceived attack by much smaller dogs? I'm going to read that again because I don't think I got it. What would you suggest to help eliminate a dog that moves to defend against attack or perceived attack by much smaller dogs? I have a neighbor whose 10-pound dog breaks free at least 4 times in 6 months and runs right at my dogs, leashed with me on my property, barking, lunging, and nipping at them. One of my dogs will jump or move to avoid, but the other wants to defend itself. They both weigh about 75 pounds. It seems like your dogs are going to figure this out. I don't want to see the other dog injured or killed, but I'm also unsure if I should teach my dog not to defend itself. You're not going to be able to, because what's going to happen, I'm going to get back to the question, what's going to happen, you're going to teach your dog not to respond to a primal threat. Right? So and then your dog's going to get bit by the other dog, and then your dog will never trust you, right? You're in a completely horrible situation. I would talk to my neighbor. I would do anything I could to protect my dog and myself, because you're going to get bit. Now, even though this other dog, where you said here is like a 10-pound dog, even though that's the case, you're still going to get bit. So if that dog comes up and bites your dog and you're trying to pull that dog off of your dog, you're going to get bit either by that dog or by your dog. So you need to take control of your own self-defense, because that's not cool at all. But I would not teach my dog to not defend itself when another dog is attacking him. That's ridiculous. I would, get some stones, throw some stones at the dog in the dog's way. Make sure you protect yourself and your dog. I don't think that would be a good idea if at some point a much larger dog were to attack. Well, first of all, if you teach your dog not to defend itself, which I don't know how you would even do that. The most logical dog, Goofy knows, like I can put Goofy, as you've seen in a lot of my videos, on a down or something in front of another dog who's lunging at him, but Goofy knows, I got this, right? He knows I got this. It's not going to be any problems at all. So, and he's seen that over and over and over again. But if you're going to put your dog on a down and you go grab that little scruffy other dog and correct it very firmly, and your dog sees that, that might be a good thing. But if, God forbid, that dog gets through and gets to your dog, even a small bite, your dog's not going to trust you. That's basic. That's the nature of any animal, right? If I tell you, don't do anything, I got this, and somebody comes up and stabs you in the eye, you're never going to trust me again. So please be careful on that. This is a situation where you got to talk to your neighbor. How can I stop my dog from crying at other dogs and trying to go and play with them? He's a Malinois, 1.5 years old. Well, again, as so often is the case, what you're dealing with here is prey drive. And this drive is a really hard component to undo in a dog unless you can override it with something else. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep your dog at a distance from those other dogs that he's so interested in. And when the dog starts to show some interest in those other dogs, you are going to need to be more interesting, more fun, and more exciting, and more rewarding to your dog. So when Goofy would do that when he was very young, as soon as he'd look at him, I'd go, hey, Goofy, hey. And I would have a toy and I'd play tug with him, or I'd give him some treats, so that he always thought there's always something more fun than those dogs. That taught him to be relatively dog neutral, because the excitement was coming from me, not from the other dogs. And that's the component there that you've got to get. If you have a dog like this, like a high drive dog, you've got to show him that two things. One is that you are more interesting than the other dog. And two is that you're not going to let him get away with it. And the way to do that in early phases is to not let the dog get close enough to the other dog where that drive becomes so overwhelming to the dog that they can't control it. Distance is your friend in this. Distance is your friend, my friend. So start at a distance, teach the dog to focus back on you, to stay focused on you. And when he loses focus in you, pop the dog back. Hey, I just did that, and Goofy and Maya are both here looking at me. And then play with the dog, or give the dog some reward, something. Don't lure the dog back. Force the dog back through an action, then reward the dog. Hi, I have a 1-year-old German Shepherd. He gets crazy when he sees cats. What should I do? I hope you don't have cats in the house, because if you do, you're going to need to crate the dog and let the cats be around the dog and let the dog calm down. Now, if it's too far, the dog's 1 year old and the dog can't stand it, then you can't have cats or you can't have the dog. You got to pick out what you'd rather have. You want to have cats, you can't have the German Shepherd. You want to have the German Shepherd, you can't have cats. It's seriously, if it's that intense, you're not going to stop it, right? It's a predatory drive. If the dog can't work this out, you can't have the dog. That's it. It's as simple as that. The way I would do this, if it was a dog I was trying to make work, I'd put the dog in a crate, I'd let the cats have their freedom around. When the dog is in there, the more he thrashes, the more he gets upset, I would ignore him until he learns to settle down. At some point, I would do this for short durations, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then remove the cats. But you're gonna have to spend time removing the cats from the German Shepherd, removing the German Shepherd from the cats. And I hope that you're saying that, you know, in the living together situation, if it's a situation where the dog sees cats on the streets, put a collar on the dog and correct the dog for doing that, because then it's just the dog is fading away from you and not checking into you. But if they're in your house, you got a whole different can of worms to deal with, and it's going to be a little bit of work. Can pit bull dog be friendly soon after buying? If you're buying a pit bull and you're asking that question, the answer is probably no, because it's not a good choice for you, right? Every dog, especially a puppy, but you said dog, puppies are a blank slate. They're what you make of it. Now you get a dog, you don't know what the history is of the dog. I don't know what maybe you're buying a dog, maybe there's a language barrier, I don't know. It's fine if there's, I'm not casting any aspersions on that. But if you're getting a puppy, it's a blank slate. You're going, unless the genetic flaw is there, which is very rare, but it is there at times. I don't know where you are. Maybe you're in an area where there's really bad dogs being bred and sold. That could very well be the case, and I feel sorry for you if that's the case. But any dog will be friendly when you first get it, unless there's something genetically wrong with it. And what you make of it from there, that's up to you. The experiences that the dog has with you in early phase of life, during the imprint phases of several months, will determine the dog that you're going to get. And that's as simple as that. Get a good dog, get a well-bred dog, get a rescue dog that you know a lot about, the dog that needs a home or something, but know something about the dog. If you're a novice dog owner and you get a dog from just the shelter that you don't know anything about, or a rescue and you know nothing about, or you know it has issues, you're setting yourself up for failure. Get a nice dog. I'm telling you that. I've rescued a lot of really bad dogs. I've trained a lot of really bad dogs. Make your life easy. Just saying. Got a question? Ask me anything. Also, check out robertcabral.com for the best online dog training available anywhere.